Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we are going to be doing a number of things in today's video, because obviously we're going to be looking ahead to the important game on Monday night against Girona in La Liga. That's a game where we want to see some sort of response from Barca after what happened on Thursday against Atletico Madrid, but at the same time I think it's important to still look at that game, understand what happened, what went wrong. I think it was a really interesting press conference today from Hansi Flick. We're going to be hearing from him on a number of different issues off the back of that game, and I think ultimately what we're going to try and do towards the end of today's video is get a bit of positivity going, try and look at some light at the end of the tunnel, whilst also understanding we've got some issues here, and there are some things that need to be solved. So get yourselves ready, sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's do this. Because indeed, guys, Barca this weekend are actually playing on Monday night against Girona. That's a bit different in itself. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to there, watching Barca there on a Monday. But anyway, we've got a job to do. I think it's important here that we do respond, and we do respond in a good way. I think there's a number of players who need to step it up a bit, who need to certainly give more than they did in midweek there against Atletico Madrid. You're also going to be looking at the referees, looking at the VAR. What's going to happen? Are we going to see any strange decisions? I mean, this is La Liga, this is Spanish football, so we probably are, but it is important that we win. I don't think, to be honest, we can do a great deal in terms of, if we beat Girona, then the Atletico demolition, that doesn't count anymore. That's not really going to be the case, is it? We can only do so much good against Girona to really make us forget what happened on Thursday, but it is important that we win. We are currently behind Real Madrid in the La Liga table after they comfortably beat Real Sociedad last night on Saturday. That involved a curious penalty, I would say there, but yeah, anyway, we have to win. Girona are a team who struggled this season, so Barca obviously are going to be big favourites.
Training today, and this is the most important thing, was really good. So I see a lot of dynamic intensity in the training, and also the confidence. And we scored goals. This was a good thing. Also, at the end, it's we lost this match on Thursday. It was a lesson for us. But at the end, life goes on. So we have to accept this defeat. But now we focus on Girona, and it's important to stay also focused, but also play with the confidence we need.
But if we do indeed circle back then to talk more about what happened on Thursday against Atletico, and not just what happened, but what's the fallout been, at the club, within the club, certainly there between Hansi Flick and his players, because I want to talk about something that came out there from The Athletic in the aftermath of that 4-0 defeat against Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey semi-final, because The Athletic came out with quite a big article, quite big news they felt, that they said after that defeat against Atleti, Hansi Flick openly criticised his players' attitude and their intensity, and that was a really heated discussion that took place on the training ground after that defeat. Now, the Athletic go on to say there that the players then responded to the Hansi Flick criticism with their own concern surrounding the tactics of the team. Apparently, the players asked for a more pragmatic approach in big games, in key games there, like away at Atletico Madrid, like away at Chelsea, big Champions League games. They would like to see some tweaks in terms of the tactical approach from Flick. Now, the first thing that I have to say, because a lot has been made here of this kind of report, the first thing that I would say is be very careful with The Athletic when it comes to Barca. They are an outlet there, they are a media, a news source that should definitely be treated very carefully, because they always seem to come out with very negative things about Barca. Whenever Barca are doing well, you won't hear good things from them. They will never ever come out praising the club. They won't write articles there talking about what we're doing well. It's always the negative with them. So be very careful with anything they say. Having said that, though, there are parts of that I can maybe not believe, that I can understand talks are going on behind the scenes at Barca right now about what went on. Because even today, you listen to Hansi Flick in that press conference, I think he was very unhappy with the way the players started the game against Atletico Madrid. I think we all were. That first half for me, they were nowhere near. And what we do know is, if Barca don't play well, it's not the same as other teams not playing well. It's not the same there if Barca turn up and they're not quite at it. Because with the way that we play, with the system that we certainly there adapt in every single game, if you're not 100% committed and intense and engaged, you will get absolutely destroyed. That is what we saw against Atleti. They scored 4, could have scored more, let's be honest. And I think even in his press conference today from Hansi Flick, he openly admitted there it wasn't good enough. I was frustrated with my players. And I also think he came out with an absolutely brilliant quote. I'll let you listen to it yourself, but he said there, we can win against any team. You know, we can beat any team, but if we play like we did in that first half, we can also lose to anyone.
And we have a lot of quality, and we can win against every team. This is known, but also when we are not on the pitch, like the first 45 minutes, we can also lose against every team. Atletico was ready for this fight. It was normally a game on Champions League level, and I think we were first 45 minutes we were not right. We have not the attitude to be competitive in this situation, 1-against-1 situation. Every duel, they're much better with more dynamic. And this is what I want from the team. And today, the training, really what I said before. I was appreciate what I saw today, but we have to bring it also tomorrow on the pitch. And this is what I need from the team. But you know, for me, important is that it could happen. It could happen that you lose also against Atletico. Okay, this is a top team. But now it's to go on. We have focus on the season till the end. It's a long way, but everything is possible. And when we play as a team, and when everyone is on 100%, so we have a huge quality, and this is what I want to see from the team. Nothing else. And you know, defeats happens, but it's important how you react, and this reaction I want to see for tomorrow.
So I think, there is frustration. There's frustration from Hansi Flick. He wants more from his players. He wants to sort of see what's being done in training match there on game day. He wants to see that same level of intensity, that same commitment to the game plan. He wants to see that every single game with no exceptions. But from the players' point of view, guys, and this is where I'm really, really wondering what you're feeling right now, would you, as a player, have concerns about the way that we set up? And I'm looking at the game against Atleti. It is a semi-final. It is a two-legged encounter, don't forget. So could we have been forgiven there? Missing key players, missing Pedri, missing Rafinha, two absolutely colossal players. Do you need to go there away at Atletico Madrid and just go for it in the first leg, away from home? Did we need to go so attack-minded? Again, the line is on the halfway line. You're going so brave, so bold. You know, if you're a player, are you asking for a little bit of adaptation? Are you asking there for just a little bit of flexibility in the biggest of matches, when the stakes are high, when every mistake will be punished? Would you like to see something a little bit different? But that's the thing about Hansi Flick. You know, he's been very, very clear about it. He won't change. He is not going to change from one game to the next. You know what to expect from him. It's going to be the same style, the same approach. It doesn't matter what happens, what the consequences are. He is absolutely sure of the way that he wants to play. And it's admirable. You know, it's something there that he just is absolutely set on. This is how we play. This is how we're going to do it. I ain't changing, not for anyone. However, guys, I think we've all acknowledged and we've all understood, really, that the standard of refereeing, not only on Thursday, but, you know, in general in Spain, maybe you'd even say right across the world, in terms of the refereeing in football matches these days, it's horrendous. It is absolutely woeful what we are seeing. What I did actually like, though, in the aftermath of this loss to Atletico Madrid, Joan Laporta coming out there with a massive statement. It's a really, really long statement here that he came out with on social media. It was broadcast there. And I wonder here, looking at the way that Laporta approached all the topics there about the level of refereeing, about what happened in the game, the result, the way that we're going to try and hit back with Flick and the players, that's the strongest words that we've heard from him. And I just wonder, is this now because technically he's not the president? You know, he's of course had to step down. It's a formality. It's something that needs to be done before the elections take place. So as of right now, he is no longer the president essentially of Barca. And is this why he can just speak a lot more openly, a lot more boldly, a lot more honestly about what we are seeing in terms of refereeing, because I really like that statement. I like the way that we're just being open about this. Let's call it what it is. It's shocking. It's a disgrace, and I would like to see a bit more from Laporta when he is the president again. I'd like to see a little bit more from this if he can, speak openly. We are not seeing the kind of refereeing that we should do. We are being hurt. We are certainly here being the victims of some horrendous decisions. So yeah, let's talk more about it. Let's tell anybody who will listen this is nowhere near good enough. But indeed, guys, looking ahead now to that all-important second leg that it is going to be against Atletico Madrid. A lot of talk has gone on in the media since the first leg here about what Flick should do in the second leg. There has been a few sort of reports and a lot of opinion here that maybe Barca should just throw away the second leg. Should they ultimately here just throw in the towel and say, well, we're 4-0 down to Atletico Madrid after that first leg. We've got games coming up in La Liga. We've got the Champions League as well to come in March. Should we just say, well, we've lost, that's it, that's the end. Just rotate in that game, save the players and not really give importance to the Copa del Rey. But I've got to be honest, guys, I don't like that. I don't like that here. We are Barcelona at the end of the day. We're a team who aspire to win everything. Now, I'm not saying the Copa del Rey is more important than La Liga. I'm not saying it's more important, obviously, than the Champions League. But it's more about the principle of it here. It's more about the fact that we as a club, we should believe that we can come back. And I know it's unlikely. I know here that we're 4-0 down. I know that we had a wrongly disallowed goal that could have given us more of a window back into this game. But at the end of the day, going into that second leg, it's at our home. It's at the Camp Nou. You've got the fans behind them. We know what that stadium can do. It should be an absolutely electric atmosphere. And if there's any team here who are sort of set up to do something incredible, why not this Hansi Flick team? The only thing that we know is to attack, to go all out, to go all in, to ultimately throw the kitchen sink at them. So why not give it a go? There's no need here to think, oh, well, 4-0, it's bad, it wasn't ideal, it was a terrible game. We all acknowledge that. But we shouldn't throw the towel in here. We have 90 more minutes. At the end of the day, if they could score 4, why can't we do it? Why can't we go there in the second leg, get that early goal? You never ever know what can happen. So I think right here, we've got to try and keep our spirits up. We've got to try and stay positive. We've got a game here on Monday against Girona. Let's win that. Let's get back on the winning trail. Let's start doing good things again. Let's start seeing some confidence in these players and build ourselves back up, because there are big games to come. There's big challenges to come. I think in the long run, if we learn from what happened against Atleti, it could help us. Will we learn? Will we actually address some of the things that went wrong? That's the big question here. That is the very, very important question for Hansi Flick and his players. But guys, please do let me know right now in the comments down below. How are you feeling ahead of the second leg? Do you think it's possible? Do you think there's any way at all that Barca could turn this around? And what are you expecting to see against Girona on Monday? Can we bounce back, and will we see a response from this team? I will see all of you soon, much more regularly, I am happy to announce, and I appreciate all of your fantastic support. Thank you indeed, guys. But until next time, as always, Vesca, El Barça.